Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, where I'm continuing my bowl previews and predictions. I'll be previewing all 35 bowl games right here on my YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to my page, check out my other videos. Up next is the Valero Alamo Bowl, which pits the Texas Longhorns versus the Oregon State Beavers. Oregon State out of the Pac-12 with a record of 9-3, and Texas out of the Big 12 with a record of 8-4. First of all, as you probably heard by now, backup quarterback Case McCoy and Jordan Hicks, a linebacker, were sent home early for disciplinary reasons. It's pretty common in these situations for people to be kind of overstate how important this is, that the team's routine's been affected, that what are they going to do without these two guys now. I think it's common to just say that because I think if you're on a gambling message board or something like that, it's cool to be the first guy to bring that up as a possible factor in this game. But if you look at McCoy, he's a backup quarterback. David Ash is going to start anyway. I know both of them see action, but look, if you ask any Texas fan that I know, or anybody who watches college football, period, Ash or McCoy, if either one of them gets hurt or can't play, they're sort of equal. They're sort of both not really that good. So I don't know. It's a big loss at all. Not having McCoy, and Jordan Hicks has been injured since the beginning of the year, so that's not even a factor. So I look more at the fact that Texas, this is a de facto home game for Texas. All right, they're playing in San Antonio at the Alamo Bowl. They'll have probably in excess of 40,000 fans there to root them on. You're getting Texas as basically what I consider to be a home underdog, and that really doesn't happen that much. But Oregon State is no slouch, okay? Remember the names Wheaton and Cooks, two receivers, two excellent receivers for Oregon State. They might be the best receiver duo in the entire country. Both over 65 catches. All right, Wheaton close to 90 catches on the season. He's a senior. Cooks is a sophomore. They average over 300 yards passing per game. Texas only gives up, though, 215 yards of passing per game. So if there's a strong suit of the Texas defense, it's their ability to put a little bit of pressure on the quarterback, and it's the ability to cover in the back end. 215 yards per game passing allowed in the Big 12 is a good number, considering all of the high-powered passing offenses in the conference. We see this year in and year out with the Big 12, and Texas's defense actually in a lot of games came to play and played well. Texas is a team that looked like they might be turning a corner after winning 4 Big 12 games, but then dropped their last 2 games of the season to TCU and Kansas State to put them at 8-4. If Texas wins one of those last 2 games, you probably see them in a New Year's Day bowl. But they go to 8-4. Again, I think there's a tendency to overreact to weather situations, injury situations, and suspensions in these bowl games. And I'm going to try to not fall in the trap of falling into that for this game. Oregon State also features a pretty good pass rush, but I don't know if that's going to be as big a difference in this game because I look for Texas to come out and establish the run early and often. Both teams have had close to a month of practice. I look for Texas to really come out, even though their best offensive lineman is hurt heading into this game. I look for them to have a month of practice. They knew this one player was going to be out. They've probably game planned around that. They usually have a pretty deep roster in Texas. They have someone to fill in for him that I think will do an adequate job. So I look for Texas to really establish the run game in this, and it'll be twofold. One, it'll keep the Oregon State pass rush off of them, and second, it'll sort of negate that high-flying passing attack from Oregon State. I've overrated a UCLA team against another Big 12 team in Baylor. Baylor's offense, I think, is a lot harder to prepare for than Texas's. But you look at the offensive line, the running backs that Texas is going to throw at Oregon State, and I look for them to be, a notch above what Baylor would bring. And just on a player-by-player athletic basis, Texas's roster certainly rivals, if not exceeds, that of Baylor. And the way Baylor just sort of ran all over UCLA sort of really made me sit up and realize, like, wow, the Big 12 might be a little bit better than we think when a 7-5 Baylor team, goes to California and beats UCLA, who's coming off an appearance in the Pac-12 championship game. So for that reason and all the other ones I've said, I like Texas plus 3.5 in the Alamo Bowl against Oregon State. Again, it's a rare situation where you're getting Texas as basically a home underdog where they'll have 30, 40,000 of their own fans here. So I look for that to be a factor as well. And again, sort of, I've looked at some of the experts and the public betting on this, and it's 75-25 Oregon State. So this is definitely a contrarian play on Texas. So as contrarian as it gets, as a matter of fact. So I'll take Texas plus the 3.5 in the Alamo Bowl. Be sure to check out my other previews here, and be sure to subscribe to my page to get all of my videos delivered directly to your inbox. Thanks, guys.